All right, hello everybody. Oliver, right in the nick of time for kickoff. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. How are you doing?
How you doing? Well, I had my chiropractor visit today here, and I was a smart guy. I looked at two Serpent tournaments over 2 weekends and another third fishing weekend. So I booked the extra hour so I would get a whole hour of massage. And when I got there today, they said, "Oh, happy birthday. We're going to give you the free hot rock treatment." And I'm like, "Oh, well, what's that?" That I don't know if that's good or bad, but it was awesome after bouncing around on boats for 2 weeks, and especially crazy lake of Ozarks here, where they like heat up these rocks in really hot water, and then they put a towel on, and then there's these big flat rocks on your back and stuff. It was, I'm all loose. How about you?
I'm not doing too bad. I still haven't made my chiropractor appointment, but it's coming very soon. That was pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, in fact, my chiropractor said, "Oh yeah, he's treated many um, compression fractures from people on boats on Lake of the Ozarks."
No kidding.
Yeah, just from the boat hitting and slapping. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that one. Thank God." This guy had a 21-foot nitro, and they have pretty decent seats. Ranger, all the top end boats have really got better seats if they're newer.
Hang on one second.
Yeah, no problem. People are
Yeah,
still accumulating.
kids like to bounce in from time to time.
That's a-okay. So it's funny, right after I talked to you on the way home, like 5 minutes after I talked to you, my GPS said, "Ding, would you like to get home 32 minutes sooner? We have an alternate route." I'm like, "What do you mean 32 minutes sooner?" "Oh, something must have happened on 70 with all the construction in towns. So it rerouted me on 50, on the scenic drive, which was really cool through the state. And then I went into Union and got on 44.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy ride home from myself too. I made it about probably about 45 minutes to the house and end up having a blowout on the trailer tires, so that prolonged the trip a little bit.
Oh, geez. Oh, and we were talking about that when we were out there. We shouldn't have done that.
But it happens. That's part of it.
Yeah. Did it go out of control or did you just hear it pop?
It was really easy. Just heard a pop, and I mean, I only was going like probably 35, 40 miles an hour, so
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it blew out right in front of an O'Reilly's. So pulled right in
Did
there.
you need did you need a tire?
No, I had a spare. Pulled right in there and got her changed out, and
Yeah.
just added
I,
an hour trip.
I saw on Mark Fisher Outdoors, he had this really cool trick. He's got all these like, kind of what to do in case of and preventative maintenance and how to care for things. But he's like, so you don't have to like jack and unjack your trailer, just pull it up on a curb and get it in the right spot, And I'm like, hey, that's a pretty trick idea. If you can find a curb where you can get up on it, boom, instant jack.
Yeah, that is a pretty good idea, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah,
I'll be.
yeah. I'm still, even though I slathered on the sunscreen, I'm still a little red.
It was hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
The sun was out pretty quick that day.
yeah.
It didn't show much mercy.
Um, my truck said 115 when I first turned it on.
Oh, I don't doubt that. It was pretty. It was pretty warm. I think I showed 98 for the high.
Yeah. Oh, for the actual temperature. Yeah, this is just inside probably the engine compartment or something, and by greenhouse effect, it gets hotter. But man, yeah.
Well,
My boater accidentally, he went down to tie some tackle. He put his bare leg on the metal cubby handle and went, ew!
hang on one second.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome Brad. Welcome James. How you guys all doing? I'm fishing the 5th group bass tournament of Lick Creek on Barkley. Oh, 5th Creek, 5th group bass. Oh, I never heard of that. That's pretty cool. Oh, the Trey McKinney tournament is this weekend. Wow, cool. How much is the entry fee on that, Brad? Is that a team? That's a team tournament, right, Brad?
All right, I'm back. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. People are still settling in here.
Yeah, kids, they just don't get it sometimes.
Hey, they're number one, man, right? They know it.
Yeah, I know. I tried to walk her upstairs and she ended up tripping over one of her toys or whatnot, and it was just
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I forgot that was this weekend.
What's that?
I put it up on screen if you can see it. The Trey McKinney USA Bass Open this weekend on Kentucky. $150 and it's a team event, huh?
Oh,
well,
really?
Actually, I just flip-flop my plans around here, not to give anything away here, but there's an outside chance if I might get invited to the Ozarks Regional.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ended up in like 72nd. And if they got 60, 65 with winners, so that takes out 5, a half dozen people or so say no. And I guess it's maybe new this year. I thought you could only fish one, and Google read that. And then they gave me another thing that said, no, you can fish as many as you qualify for, but you can only qualify for the All-American once. Well, why would you worry about it? And they also said, even if you fish a regional, if you don't qualify for the All-American, you can still hop into wildcard this year. New rule. They just want to get your money no matter how. I think it's cool. You could fish how many ever regionals you want to or can get in. And if you're still not in the All-American, you can go to the crazy wildcard. So that's a new rule, guys.
I'll be. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you had to pick one. Yeah, anyways, that's a cool team tournament. I know that was coming up. Actually, my brother-in-law is coming down to, he was going to come to Pana that second weekend. I'm like, well, I might get invited to that one. And man, can we reschedule? It's like, I'm open. And then there was this weekend, and then there was like the end of October. So I'm like, okay, let's flip-flop it. Man, I'd almost consider going down to Kentucky Lake. Is that a 1 day on Saturday, or is it a 2 day? What's the format, Brad? What are you doing this weekend, Oliver?
I have a big championship tournament on Wapapa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep, it's for all the marbles. I think it's a $10,000 purse for first place, so it'll be pretty worth it, especially so close to the house.
Yeah. Oh, Army Special Forces. Okay, gotcha. Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw some guys out at Ozarks with and I know a buddy that fished at, what do they call it? Something Force Multiplier, Strike Force. And they have their own like sponsored team and do events and do videos and take vets out and stuff. It's really cool.
Where's that?
Where did he say? Lick Creek on Barkley.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said in that leg of the Ozarks tournament you fished in the glaze, right?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Did you run all the way back into the glaze, or did you stay kind of close to the 54 bridge?
No, we went to the back. We were in 1 foot of water most of well, when we got he really did well in practice in a foot or less of water, and that's what we were fishing a lot of most all the day. And when we backed off, we only backed off into 5 feet or so, and there's some fish there, kind of small ones like everything else. And yeah, we should get to that. I just kind of dilly dally around here. Sometimes people get here right away. Usually it takes them a few minutes to get in here. We'll get going. What I figured we'd do today is, hit the Ozarks. Let's hit the final standings. Then we can talk about the super tournament, and then, maybe a little bit about regionals and stuff here. Yep, always like to support the veterans. And speaking of that, I know why I couldn't get a room out at Ozarks, and I'd like to thank Oliver for inviting me to his place. He even gave me his room and his bed and slept on the couch, man. Amen, brother. It was biker week out there, and I mean, there was thousands of bikes out there. They were everywhere. They had the whole Bagwell Dam strip lines, bikes lined up from it. My boater was going down there on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. There was bikes. I don't know, for all 3 days that I was down there, I just feel like that's all that I seen was just bikes after bikes.
Yeah.
Never stopped. Yeah. We weren't even really in a popular area for the bike rally.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, just to house everybody, they had to be everywhere.
No, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. All right here. Well, about 10 minutes in, we got 5 people. Hello to everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Please say hi, announce yourself here. We're going to review the Ozarks standings here. One note, hey, thanks to everybody that came up and say hi or congratulations. That's really cool. I like putting a face with the name. There were some people, I knew their names. I didn't realize their face. Some people I've seen them around and saw the face and didn't know their name. Thanks for all of that. And Matt Zimmerly came up too, and he was in the tournament, and even got to wave and say hi to our fellow YouTube buddy Randy Blackett. He was coming out of weigh-in when we were coming in here. I saw he had a young guy with him. But let's just hop right to some of these results here. So on the boater side here, Eric Oliverson won the AOY. I think he was leading going into it, wasn't he, when we looked at it, Oliver?
Yeah, I believe so. He had he's never really had a bad year, but he had an exceptional year this year.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 points, it was still pretty close. Roger and Chase Fitzpatrick right on his tail there, and that was kind of the upper echelon right there, those top 3. Is that father and son or brothers, these guys? Do you know?
That's his son, I do believe.
Yeah, Roger's the dad and Chase is the son?
Yeah, because Chase has fished co-angler for a couple of years now, I believe, but then I kind of recently seen him jumping in the boater side on the BFLs.
Yeah. Then it kind of takes a hop down to about, around 1,200 or so, and then starts teetering here. I'm not really familiar with these names, Oliver. These are probably usually they're familiar names at the top, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll change a little bit, but most of the time on boater side, you'll probably see about the same, 15 to 25 people in that upper echelon of the point.
Right. Yeah, we saw Randy's preview, and I listened to his post view on the way home, and something I meant to do, he brought up, and I had it in mind, was to toss that little crankbait by the docks here. I wish I would have done that because no one was doing that. If people were telling the truth when they came off stage here on day 2, jig in the shaky head was predominantly everything, not as much top water as I expected. And we can talk about that in a minute, or people weren't saying it, but I witnessed that too. Here's your buddy. Is this your buddy Trevor?
Yes.
Trevor Bartlett?
Mm.
Yeah, up there at 1,100 points here, just really consistent. Sequoia down at 23. There's a really well-known name here. Hey, Don Simmons. I'm going to have to send him a text here. He was my boater in day 2 in the Kentucky Lake Toyota this year. Really cool guy.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, look at that. Cole Boyd, that name seems familiar.
he's
Oh, here's Sean,
a local.
another local hammer coil. Yeah, your buddy Sean. We room with Sean here. Boy, it was so rough out. You were telling me he had some boat damage, right?
Yeah, yeah. So he had quite a bit of damage. I guess his brackets and his mounts for his screens, they got damaged. His trolling motor got damaged.
No, jeez.
360 and his live scope transducer, I guess I don't know if they got ripped off or bolts loose. His transducers got messed up. Yeah, he had a pretty rough time coming back because he was up by Point Randall, and I was way up the Gravois, so me and him kind of had the same run back, and it was pretty wicked. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say it's the roughest water that I've seen on that place, but it was top 3 of probably one of the worst times to be running back. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yikes. My back hurts just thinking about it. I was almost kind of glad when my guy said, "Yeah, we're not going to handle that. We're going to be in a glaze all day and avoid it."
Well, when they were calling boat numbers, there was, I guess, somebody had some motor problems or something, and they were coming out of the takeoff, just trolling motoring out to the first point that you could fish, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then probably about 30-40 minutes into our run back, I said, man, I'm kind of jealous of that guy who had motor problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Good strategy. Yeah, I got motor problems. That's why I'm going to do it.
It was bad.
Hey, our buddy Tim Schneider here. Good showing at 975 here. John Jackson. When I hopped into Table Rock one, the other one I was in, really cool guy, really good boater. He was like in 6th place, but he knew he couldn't fish one, so that really messed him up, or he probably would have been way up there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I know sometimes you can't get to them all, but if you miss one tournament or 0-1 tournament, I mean, it hurts you way more than
The Illini.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who's this guy? 63. Look at that, buddy.
Yeah, I think I might just sneak in there with. I know I was at a slight disadvantage fishing only 3 tournaments. I think I might slide in there.
Well, yeah, they take the top 60 minus the 5 winners, so you technically should be in. I think Eric said he got his email this morning. Did you check your mail or junk mail or whatever mail?
No, I will have to. I'll have to check on that because I know sometimes it goes to like the junk mail sometimes. So I'll have to check on that. I was going to give him a call on Tuesday and kind of.
Yeah.
That's what Sean was telling me. Sean was like, "Yeah, you should be in. There should be some."
Yeah.
Double.
Hey, $1,900. You did pretty good. So the 3 tournaments you fished, how'd you cash out? What were your rankings?
I finished 50th place at Table Rock, and then I finished 2nd place at Truman, and then I finished like 76th at Lake of the Ozarks. So.
Oh, that was this year at Truman. That's right. So that's where you got the big check. Yeah, awesome. Congrats.
Yeah. Well, I was basing if I was going to fish this last one off Truman because I fished the Table Rock, and I'm like, well, it didn't go too bad, top 50. That's not terrible. And then I was like, well, depending on how Truman goes, we'll see if we can rally and finish out the year and try to get a regional berth. And I ended up finishing 2nd at Truman, so I was like, well, now I gotta fish it because I'm right on the cusp of making it. So.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, yeah, you'll definitely be in for sure.
And I kind of.
Well, congratulations on a good year.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of gambled a little bit at Ozarks. I mean, I had a deal where, like I told you, it was going to be a zero, and I just scrambled up enough fish for enough points. Just wish it would have went a little bit better, but I got no complaints. I went down how I wanted to, so.
Hey, and only 3 tournaments and make the regional, man. That's fantastic. Just imagine if you would have fished those other two.
Oh well, and the Ozark division is no slump. So
Oh, it's tough. There's just so many good fishermen that live at Lake of Ozarks, right?
oh my gosh, so many good fish. It makes you feel that much better when you have some success, because those guys, they just don't let up. They're just so consistently thorough. It's unreal.
Yeah. And they're out there all the time too,
Mm. Yeah, and a guy for like me and you, because you live around the same spot that I do, it's you really don't have no lake in your backyard. You got to drive 3 hours to Lake, 4 hours to Table Rock, 3 Truman. So you don't really get to utilize lake time as much as some of these locals do. So
Well,
regular.
technically, my lake house is only 20 minutes away from Dam 9. So, yeah, that's really convenient. That's, but it's not Kentucky Lake and it's not Lake of Ozarks and it's not, Truman or, a great fishery. But, I say it all the time, like Trey McKinney says, it's great training ground because it's tough. There's fish there, but it's tough.
Yeah.
In fact, in the second Shelbyville tournament this year, I forgot the guy's name. He made a comment. He goes, "Oh, I love Shelbyville. It fishes just like Lake of Ozarks." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh yeah, river system, this and that." And I'm like, "He's like, it's just smaller." And I'm like, "Wow, that's pretty interesting. I never kind of thought about it that way." Latitude, they're pretty similar, and they are really river kind of systems. I mean, obviously Ozarks is a highland and Shelbyville's a lowland, but Shelbyville is a real dam controlled where two rivers come together. So I'm like, oh, that's very interesting.
Only if it had the same fish population.
Well, yeah, I mean, the water isn't as fresh and nearly as fresh and or deep and or clear. And, it doesn't have the shad population. It doesn't have the bait fish population because it doesn't have enough structure, but, and habitat.
The bait population of Lake of the Ozarks is unreal. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost makes you question why they even fall for
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh,
crazy.
all right, on the co-angler side, 1292 to Dennis Spell. Congratulations to him. I know he was in the top 10 the other day. 40 points up on JD here. The other guys coming in around 1200, a lot of people. So those two guys were up on top of it. You're probably more familiar with these guys. Jeff Moss, of course, I've heard of him. He's always up there, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when I used to co-angler, Jeff Moss was always, I was trying to aim for to beat. No matter whether I got third in the point, fifth in the point, always one above me. That guy is consistently good. That guy can catch him. I don't know how he does it and how he stays so persistent, but that guy can catch him.
Yeah, kind of like Alan Burdinke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Huber, I think he's Gary Huber's son here. He made day 2. You don't any of these guys, Oliver?
I mean, most of them are probably the same. There's some familiar names there.
Yeah.
They're just about the same as the boaters in this division. I mean, you consistently see the same names. I mean, there's not a lot of guys who slip.
Yeah.
It's just
Good
crazy.
old Matt Zimmerly. Okay. Hey, congratulations. Thanks for saying hi. Really good year. Going to be at the regional here. I talked to him a little bit. He's usually on the channel. I wonder if he's on today here. Let's see if he's over here. Are you here today, Matt? Hey, Dustin, how you doing? Hey, Jerry, glad you could make it out. Didn't know if you were working or not here. I actually got a little time on Sunday to work on the Illinois Super Kentucky Lake video here, and I got a lot of edits on that here. I'm just tweaking a couple of things, talking with Jerry here, and that should pop on Thursday. And I started looking at Kentucky Lake Day 1, and crap, I lost a bunch of audio in the middle of it, so that's going to take me a little bit longer to edit, but important audio I have here.
That's got to be kind of annoying when that happens.
Yeah. Jerry's like, bass eat the crappie on Shelbyville. Yeah, I tell you, one thing Shelbyville does have is a ton of crappie. You are right on the nose there, Jerry. Okay, moving down here. Let's see we got some other guys from Ozarks that's kind of on here sometimes. Yeah, our old buddy Eric Mann here. He's going to make the regional. He had to miss the super. He had to miss both his supers for work, and yet he made both of them here. He's a really good co-angler too, and friend of the channel. And boy, we got to go down the list here a while to find this joker. So I was surprised with 2 tournaments. I bounced up to 72. I only got 1 fish on Saturday, and you'll see the video. I caught like 20. I had a bunch like everyone did in that 13, 14, 14 and a half, 13.75, 14.75, and they were fat fish. They were well-fed fish. They just wouldn't measure. And I hopped in the Ozarks, and I had 2, and I lost my third one twice here for that Table Rock event. I mean, bumming about that one, but hey, maybe I squeak in. And Eric said, no, you can fish 2. And I guess, is that new this year? But maybe, perhaps, maybe I just sneak in.
I think it is new because I'm not used to that. The wild card too. That must be new because I was not under that impression that you could do that.
That is new about the wild card. I just saw that on Alan Gray was answering that on the Facebook page today, and people are like, no. And someone goes, dude, he's a tournament director. I think he knows. And he says, we talked about this. This is a new change for this year, specifically on that one. No one asked about 2 regionals, but Brad already said he's signed up for 2, and I heard people talking about it. So maybe that rule changed last year, and I didn't know it or something.
Yeah, could have. I mean, I don't really pay attention to I don't really do my thorough reading as I should. I just know the normal rules and just,
Yeah, wing it from there.
But
yeah. I remember on my very first tournament I voted, and I kind of read through the rules, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. All right. So Oliver invited me down. It was so cool. I got down there on Thursday night. You were out on Thursday. We went out on Friday. It got really hot. It was like 94 degrees, and we didn't want to burn up too many fish here. But I'll let you give a little overview on what you were thinking on Thursday and kind of what you did on Friday.
Yeah. So Thursday when I got up there, I mean, I had a real preconceived notion on what I wanted to do. And pretty much Thursday, I took a long boat ride up there to where I wanted to go. And I pretty much just went and checked my water depth, checked the water clarity. Didn't want to throw a cast because a 1 fish here, 1 fish there kind of scenario. So I burned nothing up. But in years past, it has proven to be a pretty good pattern. And so I went up there, checked it good. I just kind of went back out on the main lake, just kind of fooled around a little bit, kind of tried to find like a secondary pattern just in case. And then Friday when me and you went out, I kind of just do the same thing, just kind of check some stuff out on the main lake, try to find like a B and C kind of pattern behind my main. And we caught some fish. I mean, nothing too special, if I didn't do what I planned on doing, I was probably just going to go to high percentage places and throw a top water all day.
Yeah. So are you going to talk about what you were throwing on Friday and how it was working?
Yeah. So on Friday, I started off with a top water, and it was all right. I was getting a few bites. There was a few that missed it. There was probably a couple key bites to be had, but I mean, it's like the Ozarks. There's thousands and thousands of shoreline. You know, it's kind of hard to really pinpoint where good topwater fish are going to be because there's a million shade lines, unless you've just had years and years and years of practice and kind of know where them big ones like to set up. But going into that, I threw that topwater Friday morning, you know, had some good bites, and I'm like, all right, that's not really a pattern, but I know that I can go out and get bit doing that. And then from there, once that sun got high, I kind of locked that chatterbait in my hand, you know, fishing shady spots on docks, and kind of concentrated on the main lake, and that's where most of the fish were kind of staging from what I tried back in the pockets and tried kind of like the mid secondary points and those kind of docks. And I mean, yeah, there were some smaller fish, but it seemed like my keepers and my better fish and my better bites were all on main lake. It just kind of like that hotter temperature coming right after that cold front we had. It kind of froze their transition back, and they were still kind of staging out pretty deep. It kind of seemed like to me. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, we started in the morning here. We kind of hit those shallow cove areas. I was throwing a different topwater and back you, and not getting, any bites. I tried some different stuff, kind of picked up a few small ones, nothing special here. And then as the sun came up a little bit, we're like, okay, the bite died down, that topwater died down, and we kind of went out where it was a little rougher on the main lake, and we started getting bites on a bunch of baits.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went out there here, I had to get out this guy, and I started getting a bunch of bites on this guy, the old shaky head. And that's man, that came up consistently, even with boaters on Sunday. Did you see the Sunday weigh-in?
I did.
Jigs and shaky heads is all people were talking about. So yeah, I got some bites on that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really focused on that in the tournament. I know it's a consistent bite there, but I don't know. I've just had good luck at kind of force feeding them, kind of making them react, and
right.
More aggressive ones. I didn't really want to concentrate my practice on fishing for brush, slowing down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why would you practice throwing a jig on a dock or throwing a jig or a shaky head around dock or whatever? You just know that's going to, probably catch fish no matter what. It's just, are you on the right brush or dock at the right time? Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And I just didn't want to go through the motions and beat my head off of a wall. Just
right.
Dissect it with a jig or a shaky head, just going to dock through dock through dock. I wanted to find something that I could move through quick and, know that I was going to get bit, doing what I wanted to do and get the most, be as efficient as I could, but still around quality fish and not really having to work for them. I wanted to find a pattern that, if they were there, I was going to get right in a hurry. And it really didn't fail me. I told you the tournament morning, I'd never had a down period where I wasn't catching fish. They just weren't the right ones. I think the bigger fish that are usually there this time of year, I think that strong heat wave that came through kind of stopped them from really making that move up there. And it was kind of a lot of buck bass, that made the
totally
that made the first move into those places. And I was fortunate enough to scrounge out 4 keepers, but the amount of fish that I caught, I just couldn't believe that, there wasn't one or 2 big ones.
Yeah, I got to say the same thing. Yeah, on game day, my guy was like, okay, buzz bait in the shallow. Okay. I started out throwing a top water in back of them. I didn't see hardly any shad popping, a few small ones, but nothing really happening. We're in the back of the glaze. We got shade. We're on the flat side of the channel. Everything lining up. I'm like, this looks like my first spot on Kentucky Lake the other week when I got the game winner, in 15, 20 minutes. And, after, 20, 30 minutes of that, I'm like, man, I got to do something different. So in comes the Shaddy Jackhammer. First cast, boom, non-keeper, but like a 13-incher. Fifth cast, boom, another one who gets off, probably a 13-incher. And then maybe 10 minutes later, another bite on this guy. So I'm like, right away, I'm like, okay, shad bait here, at least as long as they're aggressive, they weren't going to come up for the top water, but they were going to chase that chatter bait. I stayed on that for a while, but there my bites were probably in 5, 6, 8 feet of water when I was pulling through it. They weren't on the bank. We were a late boat. So let's see, it was a 7 o'clock deal. We probably didn't pull out to 7:20. We probably got out on our spot 7:30, 7:40. And I did the top water until, about 8, I think. Yeah. And, it just wasn't happening. And then we were just going shallower and got shallower. And the bite got stiffer and stiffer as we got shallower. A couple of nibbles here. We got in the back of the cove. There was no wind, no nothing. The water was kind of dirty, not even many shad. So we had a dead period until we came around about another hour or so, and we got to where some wind was coming in. It was just a ripple. And then I had a big strike on chatterbait. It was a big old lay down off the bank, and it's like, bam, and I'm like, and nothing. Oh, another one of those, man. He whacked it and missed it, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, I know the ones that I was catching because the chatterbait was my primary deal that I was fishing. And the ones that were getting it, choked. They were hitting it with a vengeance, and that's the way that I like to see them eat it. It's just, unfortunately, the right ones didn't get it, but the ones that were getting it, and just going back to what you said, those 14 and a half, 14 7/8, they were fat, they were healthy.
Yeah, really healthy.
Good looking fish. And it just, that happens, but the way that they were eating it, even with the sun shining bright, no clouds, we're just doing it. So I was kind of doing the force feed method. I really wasn't going to change what I was doing. I was just going to stick with it because I knew they were eating it good. And if I ran into the right ones throughout the day, then, it was going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we kept doing that for a while, and I kind of switched up. We got on Shady Bank. I tried to top water when we saw a little bit of that ripple. Like I say, a 2 or 3 mile an hour wind, and that was all they were predicting at first. And nothing. And then we got into another little bay, same thing. When we came out, we went to another arm, made a move. As we're coming in, going toward the shallows, again, not in the 3 or 4 feet or under, but in that 6, 8, 10 again. I caught a couple more shorts on chatter. So I was pretty convinced at that point, okay, not like I'm not going to do anything else, but like you said, probably the rest of the day here, if we were going to do that, that's what I was going to keep in my hand.
Yeah, I know the weather wasn't very conclusive for that, but it's still the fall time of the year. The shad are back there. I don't know about in your area, but mine. The shad had made that move back there. The shad were back there. There was bass busting them. It was in the really close to the full fall. It was full swing fall. The shad are doing what they should be, balled up. The shad are schooled up.
Yep.
Perfect.
But they were still small. So when we were in less than 3 feet of water, it was those really small ones. When
Yep.
we were 6 to 10, I don't think I saw this when we practiced, but on Saturday I started seeing a few bait balls that were like the 2.5 inch shad, and I pointed out to my boater. I'm like, yeah, let's stay around these guys. These are more of a meal for keepers, right?
Yeah. I noticed a lot of small shad, which, I mean, during practice, I stayed out on the main drag. I wanted to do something totally different than what I was going to do in the tournament, just to have a different look on the lake, try to get a different feel. And didn't see very many shad up on the main, but man, you got back in them pockets, back in them long creeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were definitely present, but
Right.
I think it was a little early for the really good quality and quantity of fish were just not quite back there yet.
Right. And, I heard so many people talk on day one and day two and bringing your bags in and everything. Everyone was just catching the heck out of those 12 to 14 inchers. Kind
Mm-hmm.
of like when we were at Table Rock. I mean, everyone was catching, those 2 pounders, 2.5 pounders, the bucks during the spawn there. But hard to get anything quality, right?
Yeah.
The guy's trying to get anything quality, my guy, um, okay, the day's getting on, it's getting to be 10:30. We go to another arm. Okay, now he's kind of, he's scoping some stumps and brush piles, and he was seeing some better fish. They wouldn't sniff a damn thing.
Mm.
So did you notice that up where you were at? You made a pretty far run. So maybe different conditions there up the lake here.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say yeah, but like I said, what I was doing, I mean, we were so dirt shallow. I mean, we were very, very, very shallow fishing isolated cover. And
Yep, we were too.
if they were
My
there,
guy half the time had to have his motor up and his trolling motor was up, and I'm almost like, dude, you need a push pole in your boat for this stuff, right?
I was exactly the same way, but I had very high percentage laydowns.
Yeah, sweet.
I
So
had
how long did you stay up there?
all day.
All day. You stayed up there all day. Wow.
Yeah, so when I got there, I had to the water wasn't exactly high enough to where I felt comfortable getting back there on pad. So I shut her down about halfway through and then I idled.
Yeah. Yeah.
After about the second stump I hit,
Yeah.
I put the trolling motor down and I raised it up as high as it'd go, trimmed the motor up, and we just kind of eased back there. And we ran through, there was probably about 27 laydowns, give or take.
Wow. Sweet.
And we would, like a pinball, we just go through
Yeah.
all weaving. And the first pass, I think we had 20, 22, 23 fish collectively between me and my co-angler caught.
Yep.
And we didn't have any keepers. And I'm thinking,
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, that's odd. I was like, for there to be that many fish chocked full on these shallow laydowns and no keepers, I'm thinking, man, I really don't want to leave fish to go find fish. I said, man, there's fish here. So we kind of circled around, and then there were some shallow docks on both sides. And we went and we fished a couple of these shallow docks, and same thing, 14-incher after 14-incher, just ripping them. And I'm like, man, there are so many fish in this creek. I was like, it's ridiculous. And so I started flipping a jig, I'm just waiting for this wood to kind of maybe reload. I'm just kind of biding my time, because if I give it enough time, we could go back through there, and then, some actual really good fish could be pulled back up on there. And I ended up missing a keeper. It wasn't nothing special, but it was probably, a 16, 17-incher. And I was like, all right, it's a good sign. some bigger fish back here. And we proceed to go move through some docks and, catch some little ones. So here it is, probably about 10:30. And I told my co-angler, I said, all right, let's idle back up. Let's go back through this wood and really soak it. And then we went through the first laydown and I fished it hard. 3 casts here, 4 casts here, 5 casts here. I'm like, man.
Methodical. Sometimes you gotta, yeah.
Circled around it and I go into the next one and I hear a big splash and I look behind me and they're busting right on this like tree. And my co-angler fired in there and he caught his first keeper. And
nice.
I'm like, all right, well, that gives me hope. I said, I know they're here. They are. So we work through a couple and I pull up to the 4 best trees that are here. I catch a keeper, go to the next tree, catch a keeper, go to the next tree, catch a keeper. Then I throw back on that same tree, catch a keeper. So here I am, I got 4 fish. And by this time it's probably, I don't know, 11:45. And so we keep pushing through these trees. We weed through a bunch of more small ones. And then we push farther up in this cut. And I usually don't fish this far back. And I went back there and there was just a bunch of gar. It just really didn't feel right. So by this time it's probably 12:30. And I'm like, all right, man, we need to start kind of making our way back a little bit, And then we stopped back and fished another cut and it just wasn't happening. So I'm like, all right, well now we really got to make our way back. Cause I said, it's going to be rough. And we didn't even get more than probably 2 miles. And it was just, oh God.
6-foot swells.
It's bad. We didn't even hit the main lake yet. And I'm like, man, if the Gravois looks like this, it took a pretty good while to get back. And by the time we got back, we didn't have very much fishing time and just never punched a ticket on that 5th fish. But
yeah. Hey, I finally, after a while here, we're like, okay, let's go hit some docks here. Had my own I had a green and orange one, and guess what? That little bait shop we went to, and I got these little Bojangle guys I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. That's what I got my 210 keeper, and I got a few more shorts. It's instead of being green pumpkin and like a blue, it's a green pumpkin and like a purpley with the sapphire with the flick in it. So, and they're really soft. I haven't used many of these Bojangles here. I got a pack of some rib worms from a guy at Lake Pena. It's just like, hey, my buddy's with this company. You got to try these. And I'm like, he told me what they were, but he just tossed me a couple, not the package. And they were really cool. I never realized what they were until I saw all the packs there. And I'm like, I remember the logo and I'm like, oh man, but they didn't have those worms there, but pretty cool bait. It's pretty cool. Hey, I bought local bait and I caught a fish on a local pond. Helped the local economy, right?
I've been hearing some good things about that Bojangle company. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I know that I fish around that are, I don't know if they're affiliated with Bojangles, but they definitely are pushing them. And I mean, they seem to be a pretty good company with some good bait. So I'm definitely going to have to check them out for sure.
Yeah. We got Brad on here. Yes. This is exactly, every of the 17,000 docks they have there, some of them are better than others. Some of them are they deeper water or shallow water? Are they partly shallow or deep? And how much junk or brunch piles or whatever they got below it? And, how's the shade hitting them? But it's like a laydown, and you got to have this in your head, that positive mental attitude. You got to say, I know there's fish here. It's an Aaron Martin's things too. If you read about Aaron, he would want to stay at a spot to catch. Every single fish was there, knowing it was a mental challenge that he could catch them. And this is the same thing. I swear to God, I always think the same thing. whenever I see a piece of structure, sometimes when it's like in 6 inches of water, I've caught fish off of what I'm saying. Well, there's nothing there, but I'll throw something out of nowhere, even in clear water. I mean, you just don't know, right?
Well, another pretty good tip, dogs.
Hey, your audio's kind of coming and going a little bit here. Maybe you need to point something or just get a smidge closer or something. Uh-oh. I think he accidentally hit a button here. I'll bet he'll be back in a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We lost you for a second, but you came back.
Okay. No, what I was going to say is another good tip, and I mean, this doesn't just go for Lake of the Ozarks, but one thing that I've noticed with fishing docks is I try to pay attention to cobwebs sometimes. If you see a dock that's got cobwebs and they don't look like they've been messed with in a long time, it's kind of like that gives you like a sixth sense of like, well, that's been an unpressured dock, you know. Nobody skipped baits in there, knocked them cobwebs off. It's kind of been left alone. And I've caught a lot of good fish off docks with cobwebs that have been there.
Right.
Just
right.
I try to find docks that are kind of off the beaten path. Like,
yeah.
You can really, I mean, that place is just, it's so hard to break down for somebody that does not live there.
Yeah.
You could fish 500 docks a day and come up with one keeper.
Or hit that one dock where you get, the 5-pounder and 3 3-pounders, or 2 3-pounders and a 2-pounder, just that dino dock, right?
Exactly. I try to find docks that are off the beaten path that maybe not a lot of people are hitting, or maybe that don't get looked at just because maybe necessarily that it doesn't have the best looking brush. But, I feel like them fish will really strive at the high pressured areas. And so when I really truly want to go dock fishing, that's what I try to look for. I just really try to break down. I don't necessarily look for the best shade or the best brush. I try to look for kind of them docks that nobody's really hitting, because like I said, I really feel them fish, especially with all the docks that are on that lake. I really feel like those fish try to get away from the high pressure area.
Yeah.
I mean, and now that's not going to say that a lot of fish are going to still be on that good brush. They're going to be on the, you know what I mean? Because there are, but I think that there's really something to be said about them areas that just don't typically get a lot of pressure.
I think, I agree with that becoming more of a trend on some of the best structure in the lake. Since GPS maps have been out and everyone knows where the high performing ledges are, they get hit so hard, the fish they go other places. They're just like not there like they used to. Is it the grass? Have the shell beds changed? Is it global warming? Is it moon phase? But, I think too many people are making that same observation that, in a long post-COVID, just so many fishermen, so many tournaments, they're scattering more, and they like some cover. They just find minimal cover, minimal structure, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it just goes just like Kentucky Lake in this time of the year. I guarantee you, there's probably all kinds of 20, 22, 23 bags out on them bars, but they've been hit all year. They've been pressured, and they probably just, they're still going to go out on them isolated bars, current breaks. They're going to get on stumps, but they're going to be on, them fish adapt. They're going to be pretty stealthy on where they like to sit. I don't think they're going to be pretty predictable all year long and stupid like they get in the springtime. I think they kind of adapt throughout the year, and then I think they get that break through the winter time, and then they'll reset. You know what I mean? It's just
right. Yep.
It's
the cycle of life, right?
through the year they kind of get dumb through the winter, and then they get good.
Yeah.
You'll just whack them, and then it's like, okay, they start to get smarter and don't really hang around the high pressured places. And I think, a guy that really keys in on that off the wall kind of low key spot could still be pretty successful. I just think that them fish, I tend to give the fish more credit than people probably do, because I mean, how else do they survive and get big and 5 to 6 pounds? I mean, they're not stupid,
Right. Right. And, all the while I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I am so glad I hopped into this tournament, because I got the Toyota in 2 weeks. So I have a really idea of what, where they've moved on from now. I don't know where they're going to be in 2 weeks, but I have a feeling they're going to be, they're going to really be further back and further along. And it should set up for, I think, a freaking bonanza of bags. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I think it's still going to be probably just as tough, but I think there's going to be a lot more guys top water oriented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flat with multiple fish. I think the fish are going to be a lot farther along all transition than what we had. I think there was a lot of fish still kind of stuck in that late summer pattern. Some of them have kind of moved, but I think they're going to be staged probably just perfect for that Toyota. I think they're going to be more predictable on like the whereabouts of where they're going to be.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to be any easier to catch them. But
well, everyone knows that, so that's where everyone's going to be, and they're going to be more concentrated than they were now. So yeah.
Absolutely, but I think it's going to be a good tournament. I really do. I just think that you're just going to have to get on the right creek, the right flat, and I think you're just going to have the perfect recipe. You're going to have to be. You're going to have to be around them bigger gizzards. You're going to have to find, because I think what I've noticed in the later fall is if you're around too much shad, that's not a good thing.
Yep, me too. My lake, I go back and they stack up in this cove, and there's 100 pods of each 1,000 shad each. It's just like, and I can see the bass with the scope swimming around. It's just the can eat buffet. I mean, your bait is literally like winning a Powerball, 1 in a billion, right? And it looks stupid compared to the other baits.
So I think if you find more shad, I think you're just trying to compete with a forage that you're just not going to win against. I mean, going back to it, them bass aren't stupid,
Yep.
They know what's real.
Yep. Yeah, here. So maybe on to the next topic here. The chatter online is all about regionals and qualifying and these kind of new rules here. Have we worked out a consensus here? You can fish more than one tournament. I think for regionals, you just have to fish 2. I thought it was 2 and pay for 5. Maybe that's the wild card.
Oh, wow. I did just read that here.
In one division, yeah.
So you got to fish 2 and pay for 5 to be eligible for wild card, but you can fish a wild card and a regional. So you got 2 chances to make the All-American.
Yeah. I'm like, I thought there was no way in Ozarks. Geez, if I would have thought I had a glimmer of a chance here, I would have tried to get in another one. Well, strategy for next year, Toyota's got in the way, and it was you can't fish every weekend. Well, you could try, but your family won't let you get away with it.
I hear that.
Yeah. My wife's like, never mind. James, I heard you came to the rescue of a guy whose motor ripped off. And in fact, I just heard from Andy Harper. He sent me a picture. His motor got ripped clear off his boat. I don't know if he has a leash or not. Here, boy, you see stuff like that, and you're like, I got to invest in one of those leashes. That motor can come back and kill someone on the boat if it comes on. He said, "Hey, I just hit a rock or a stump, and the lake was 2.5 feet low on Friday, and it probably was a few inches low on Saturday. Barkley had some real scary spots, and I know there was some." If you don't know what you're doing, you're off a little bit on your maps, you just don't pay attention there, you can get in trouble real quick.
What's that on Kentucky?
On Kentucky, yeah. Well, Andy, yeah.
Yeah, we had to. It was a few years ago. We had to go rescue a sailboat that blew into a sandbar.
Oh, you pull them out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On where at?
Not even a mile from the Kentucky dam.
Oh, during the super tournament?
No. It had been a few years ago during a
yeah.
It was a Legacy Marine tournament.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, for sure.
And that's how we figured out the sandbars, because we'd never fished Kentucky like
yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
There's
I can't
out here.
I remember the first couple of times I went out, my boaters are flying, and I'm looking at his graph. I'm looking at all the buoys. I'm like, holy shit! I was holding on for my life, going, man, I was afraid we're gonna hit something. But if you know your way down there, you know your way down there. Yeah. And when you have the GPS maps and live tracking, it's so much easier. What about before that? These guys had to do that before that? Wow. Had to really depend on those buoys and, kind of knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got regionals coming up here. Let's see here. So, this weekend is a week off, I believe, for everybody. I don't know. Brad's probably fishing something. He's fishing something every day of the week. I think there's really, far away regionals. The Toyota here is on Lake of the Ozarks here the weekend after that. The weekend after that is the Illini Super up in the Quad Cities. I'm all signed up for that here. Going to be up there. And then the week I think that's the 3rd, 4th, and 10th, 11th, or 11th, 12th, or whatever it is. It's going to be the Ozarks down at Grand Lake, right?
Yep.
I've never been down to Grand Lake. Always wanted to get down there, and I think I was talking with you saying that should be a really good time of year for them. And that's a little further south, but it's another 4 weeks out basically. So that should be lined up really good too. I mean, late September, early October, man, always great fishing, right?
Oh yeah, and Grand Lake sets up just like Lake of the Ozarks. I've been fishing it for 4 or 5 years now, and I really do not see much of a difference. I do know Grand can get a little more chalked up than Lake of the Ozarks can as far as water clarity.
Yeah, I thought it was shallower and dirtier, but similar, but in general, right?
Yeah, in general, as far as the layout, the structure, the docks, I mean, it pretty much sets up the same. It's real rocky, got a lot of docks, but it sets up perfect for fall fishing. As far as top water, it's got so much good water, to fish how a shallow power guy would want to fish.
Right.
It's got some deep or brush piles, it's a good brush lake as well. So, I mean, there's all kinds of options, but I think it's going to be a fun tournament.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, Brett, the LBL Super. Yeah, that's right. That's that same weekend. Where is that at? It's not at Paris this year. It's somewhere else. Oh, it's out at God, someone told me before. You remember where it is? Where is it, Brad? The dam? The LBL Super is taken off from the dam? Really? Wow. Oh, I was thinking of the LBL regional is Dale Hollow, right? This year?
Oh, it's at Dale Hollow this year?
I think so, because Jerry was saying, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, especially for cows. I had that experience once.
Yeah.
And then the second day, I don't get a boater call till like 8 o'clock. I'm like, that's not a good sign. He's like, oh, my boater blew up today. It took me like 3 hours to trolling motor in. I called the tournament director. He said, hey, can you at least you take your out and trolling motor out? And he's like, yeah, sure. Really nice guy. Tried to get me on fish, live scope, lined me up and everything. It was cool.
Yeah, well, I do know that tournament was very, very conclusive for balls out in 60 to 80 foot of water.
Yep. First spot we were fishing was 40 feet, and then we got deeper.
Yeah, I actually got to partake in that region. That was not a good time.
Yeah. Well, I learned about scoping. And I got some top water smallies. You just sit there with your top water in your hand. You just keep scanning, and when you see them bust up, man, be ready to cast a country mile to go get them. And I caught a couple, but that damn slot limit screwed me both times. That 16 to 20.
Learned that you can catch a lot of 3-pound smallmouth that you got to throw back, and that was sickening.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I do not envy those guys going to Dale Hollow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, that's a bummer. That's a bummer, Dustin. You lost your link up there. Yeah, how'd you do at lacrosse? Man, you were going with like 12 frog rods, right?
I've always wanted to fish that place.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot here. It's just like a bunch of us have keep talking about it, but haven't done it yet. I wanted to do the road trip up there for a while. I mean, I remember being a kid, my dad, we did a lot of Lake Michigan fishing. We'd always go up to Wisconsin to the power plant. Sometimes we went up to Green Bay. My parents were up in Bailey's Harbor. A couple times we actually went out to Prairie du Chien, and I think we went by La Crosse, and we tried a little Mississippi River fishing. But that wasn't like, my dad's bag here, bass fishing, but I mean, he'd done a little bit of it. But what was cool, the most memorable thing was it was my first rodeo, literally. We get out there, and he's like, oh, there's a rodeo in town. Everyone's going. You want to go? I'm like, sounds cool to me. And I just couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Ever been to a rodeo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Been to the Sikeston, Missouri rodeo a few times.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
It's not really my flavor, but it's pretty fun to watch. So I guess I'd compare it to like NASCAR. I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but I'm sure it'd be cool to watch.
Oh yeah, I went to a Grand Prix once, and I go, okay, everyone's going, all right, free passes because of work or whatever. But they're like, here. I'm like, what are those? Those are earplugs. Well, I need earplugs. They're like, you'll need them.
Mm-hmm.
We go down on the brick wall on the straightaway. And when these cars come by at 250 miles an hour, not only is it loud, the ground shakes when they go by. I was amazed. It was like, wow, standing right there. That was pretty cool.
I can imagine.
Actually, it's a crazy thing here. I don't think I mentioned it. For that Father's Day, my wife got me this present, which was take a 400 horsepower Porsche out on Gateway Speedway, and you get to do 3 laps. So you go out there, you sit in a classroom for 20 minutes. They tell you what the course is, how, the driver's telling you what to do. I mean, you haven't like an ex-driver here is right next to you, can, keep you in check. He's got the headgear set up and everything here. And it wasn't the full oval track. It was like, one straightaway of the oval. And then it was like, hairpins and stuff around the middle of the track. So, the first time around, you're going like up to maybe 80, 90. Second time around, okay, you get up to like 105 on the speedway. The third time on the straightaway, I hit 120, and she had more in her, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's enough for now." Here, I'm not. You hit the brakes, and then you're like, it's like they're not working, unless you're used to it. That was pretty intense. So 400 horses, man. That car moves when you hit it.
You get adrenaline rush.
Yeah. And then I think about like some of those boats we were seeing with like we saw a Tritune with a 500 horsepower outboard at Kentucky Lake. We saw this boat. It had four 400 horsepower outboards on it.
Jeez.
Yeah, crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, I don't know where these people, what they do, where they get their money. It's incredible. It's unreal.
Yeah, and it's younger guys. I'm like, where does it come from? I'm like, well, family money or who knows what.
Oh,
Who knows what?
oh, I have no idea. Funny story about that though. We were fishing a team in the Ozarks a few years ago. Probably 2017, 2018, and pull back in this cove, and it's a cove that I fished for a while, and we seen all these like bigger yacht kind of style boats. They're all parked out in the middle, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. And then we don't really pay much attention, and we kind of cut around to go to the next side. We start looking, and everybody's naked.
Okay.
You had like 65 to 70-year-old men out there naked, and then you'd have like a 23 or 24-year-old girl out there naked too. It was like one big nudist community.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, I guess we could stay and fish this cove a little bit.
Yeah. There's plenty of fish attracted in the water.
Yeah. Well, only at Lake of the Ozarks, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean it's known nationwide as all that COVID hotbed stuff and spreading that was going on there. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, folks. Well, we got another 15 minutes or so. We got 10 people on. Hey, you guys got any topics you want to hit? Anything else you want to discuss here? I think we kind of hit the regional thing here.
So
what are your practice plans
for the regional?
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably gonna take about I'd probably say 3.5 days. I'd say of practice. I'm probably gonna break down probably 3 main areas of the lake, and by the third day, I'm just gonna kind of
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like it's going to be kind of a junk fishing tournament, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's kind of the way that I've seen Grand set up. The past few years, it's just kind of run and gun. I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to find a really good brush pile, but I'm probably going to just go topwater fishing.
Yeah.
Lock it in my hand. Just go find the best areas that I can find, and just lock it in my hands and go.
Yeah, that's what Eric was asking about, baits for Grand. I mean, it's going to be that time of year, but I got to imagine there's always guys that all they do is a jig. And, glide baits are going to come into play, right? Probably, chatterbait, anything minnow-like is going to be happening. I mean, buzz baits, any kind of topwater. Well, is there grass down there? Is there frog fishing down there? No.
No.
Too dirty.
It's a dirtier, but like I said, it's a rocky lake, lots of rock, lots of docks. It sets up just like Lake of the Ozarks, just a little shallower and a lot dirtier. But if I had to give like a 3
top 3 baits,
I mean, you can't go wrong with a top water. Some kind of a spinnerbait / chatterbait kind of deal.
I was going to say a spinner, Jason Christie and a spinnerbait on Grand Lake. That won him a little trophy.
Well, I'm probably going to lean more toward the spinnerbait just because it's a phenomenal,
dirtier. Yeah.
Phenomenal spinnerbait. And I'm going to say like a square bill.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a crankbait, very good. But the thing about Grand is the wind, if you've got wind, it's ripping. You know what I mean?
Does it line up kind of north-south again, or is it more east-west, or I forgot how it is.
It's more east-west, really.
It's more east-west. Okay.
But I mean, the wind gets rowdy there. I mean, Oklahoma is flat, it's wind and gets rowdy, but the wind is your friend on that lake.
Okay, boaters. Reef torque down every boat, every bolt on your boat, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was, thinking. I haven't researched it, but I mean, it just sounds like that's what would be the deal.
Yeah, and I know that Grand gets a lot of pressure throughout the year. Grand has always received a lot of. I think Bassmaster done a really good job of showing the true potential of Grand. We fished tournaments there, and it's 27 pounds to win. I mean, the fish are there. Ooh. The lake is very good. I don't, there's some people who would argue that fact, but that lake's got them. There's giant fish in that lake, and it's really tough, but it fishes very small. But if you can get in those right areas, I mean, it's got some very good potential and some very good fish. And I think it's going to take it's going to take big weights to win this regional.
Okay, well, now that you're talking about it, what's your guess for winning Boater and Co. on that regional?
That's a
2-day total. That's different too. Instead of 3 days, it's 2 days everyone fishes. The last couple of years, it's been 3 days and top 20% fish day 3.
That's what I'm going to ask you. Is it still a 3-day or 2-day? So now it's the whole fish is 2 days.
It's 2 days. Whole field fishes both days.
Well, I'm going to guess that it's going to take 39 and a half pounds to win.
Yeah, probably you'll have the 22, 23, 24, whatever bags day 1. It's going to get a lot tougher day 2. And the same guys that hammered them day 1 are going to have trouble repeating that. Yeah. What about Co? Co is 3 again, so.
Co-angler, I'm saying it's going to take 17, 18-ish to win.
That's what it took on Ozarks, 9 and 8 basically to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna guess that. But I'm just because there's so many good fish and just such good potential that I think somebody's gonna hammer 17 and a half to 20 pounds for both days. I think it's gonna be just shy, right under 40 pounds to win that tournament.
Yeah, and then we got Illini. Are you going to go to that regional too or no?
If I qualify, yeah.
Where you at? I forgot.
Oh, I'm way down, but I didn't even weigh a fish in, Jeff. I just signed up for 2, and I kicked my fish back both times just because I wasn't doing it for points.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just did it for fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When it's close and it's like, hey, I just drive down to Wren Lake. Yeah. So you fish the second Wren one, which was and you fish the super.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Kentucky Lake. Why not go? You're going to go down there and go fishing. You're spending so much. Might as well throw it in the kitty for a tournament, right?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much went out there swinging for day 2, and I was about a pound. Right. I was about a pound shy, and Yeah, just kicked him back.
Oh, that close.
Mm-hmm.
That close. You never know.
Yeah.
So let's see. Projections for Illini regional here. 2 days up on the Mississippi. It was kind of weird last time. A few people whacked them and a lot kind of zeroed. I don't remember what the boaters did. I remember it was kind of tough. I'd have to go back and look at the weights. Eric, anybody? Brad, you remember what it was? James, you remember what it was? Dustin?
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
From what I've seen, I'd probably tell you probably 24 pounds in 2 days would probably win it.
I was guessing a little more. I'm thinking a little more. I think there's going to be some 15, 16-pound bags day one, and then it's going to go, maybe the 12-pounder, 27, 28. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably something in that realm, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? 30, there might be 130. I mean, you get 30, you're going to the All-American probably, right? For sure.
Oh God, yeah. I just kind of base it off of 12 pounds a day kind of thing. I don't know that area very well, but I just know how the Mississippi kind of got the potential for 15, 16-pound bag for sure, but
James reminds us you can't go up to 13. That's where the bigger ones are. My guy ran a run up there and people were on the fish, but it's risk reward. You had to go through 3 lots. You only had 2 hours to fish in an 8-hour day, and you could get screwed by a barge.
Mm-hmm.
17 not in play either. Yeah, it's going to fish smaller. You guys are right. We're probably high. You're probably better on your first one. Yeah, maybe we'll discuss that. Maybe we'll do a specific preview on that one. Next week, I think I'm taking next week off. Nothing really new to talk about. And I got a shit ton of video to get out. And I really got to make good videos on the winning videos. So I got to put the story together. I didn't take video of my wacky stuff. I should have taken some, in hindsight, I learned things. I just look back and go, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have checked my camera. It didn't do that. Oh, I should have taken a video of that. You know what I mean? But live and learn. And then we'll be back in a couple of weeks. That'll be after the Toyota. We'll have something to talk about, and we'll make that a Toyota and an Illini preview. And then the week after that, we'll have one too, because it'll be, the Illini regional review, and it will be for those people, whether I'm going or not. There's a bunch of people here that'll be doing the Ozarks. We'll do an Ozarks preview on Grand too, and we'll probably have enough juice to do a review after that here if you guys are interested here or want to hit any other topics here, because it's kind of we're coming into the close of the season. We're coming around turn number 3 here. Everything's on the line, and it's talking about it would be awesome if one of our crew would make the All-American. That would just be really, really cool to have someone there, and in the first real year of the Bass Angular channel here to have someone out there. I think that'd be awesome. Any final thoughts there, Oliver?
Just looking forward to the regional, trying to punch that ticket to the All-American, because like you said, that would be really, really cool. That's kind of why we're this. I know it's fun, but we'd all like to get to the end zone on that one,
Yeah, even if you come in last place, it's a lifetime experience and bragging rights, right?
Absolutely,
The creme de la creme.
Exactly. Just go get last place, still bring some money home, free food, live it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the release area controversy of last year. Are you supposing that, Eric, or have you seen something or talked with Alan and seen it come up in the forums here that they're going to specifically be a little bit better about protecting release fish? Yeah, that's an interesting topic we should hit in a couple of weeks. 22 for co-angler, Dustin? Man, you're optimistic. 13 for co's. Yeah. You know, it's tough. It was tough on Coast last time, although Hayden whacked them in day one here. It was tough to follow up the boater draw, the different people. They like to put, you know, last year I got a Wisconsin guy both times. They always try to give someone not in your division. I think they'll probably do that again. Oh, it's in the rules. Okay, so they're going to protect the release area. Good, good, good. There's Eric. Man, he's such a student. He's always doing his homework. I guess I should be doing that homework, but hey, when you got Eric, you don't need to do your homework. Hey, what's the answer, Eric? Okay. It's like being in school again. All right, buddy. I tell you, you are on the roll. You've got the horseshoe in the derriere. I hope it happens, baby, because you definitely got the momentum. You know, it's like the team, you know, that kind of did okay at the beginning of the year, kind of made some changes and goes into the playoffs on the upswing. Watch out. That's always the team to watch out for. Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Day one practice with Jerry Hall will drop this Thursday here, and we're really shooting to get the next two out on the next couple of Thursdays. I hope I can stick to that. I got more video than I know what to do with. I'm going to have to buy another SD card here for this weekend. I've lost video on the computer, so I never get rid of my SD card until I'm done editing because I lost my Dan Moorhead video once. So man, I wish I had that video back, but that's the way the ball bounces. Yeah. I'm gonna pull a Jeff. Yeah, pull a horseshoe out of the you know what. Amen, brother. I hope so. James Big Bass Jones. So I just made up that graphic when I was making the video, and then later I saw it on your Facebook page. So did you already have that on your Facebook page, or did you pick up my moniker I gave for you for getting Big Bass at Shelbyville? I've been meaning to ask you. All right, Oliver. Thanks so much again for hosting me and practicing me, and coming in and doing the stream here. It's much appreciated to the crowd.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Look forward to more.
Yeah, and good luck on the Big O this weekend. Definitely drop some social media in, or let me know, and I can drop something on the channel for you. So let me know. That's a Saturday only, or a Saturday Sunday, or a Friday Saturday. What is it?
Saturday Sunday.
Saturday Sunday. Everybody fishes, or only the top on Sunday?
Everybody fishes both days.
Okay, so you won't know till late on Sunday, and I'll probably be getting home around 4 or 5 o'clock, and that's probably when you'll drop it, and we can drop it. Okay, sounds good. Let me know.
Will do, buddy. I appreciate you for having me on. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. Until we see you again, you know the moniker. Keep your lines tight. Good night, everyone.